Hello, welcome into SportsZone. I'm your host, Jeremiah Russo. The NBA tournament's big money grab is finally underway as we all laugh and joke about the terrible tournament that the NBA play-in tournament is, where all your regular season games are no longer relevant. Joining me now to discuss how terrible this is, Caleb Blanton and Mason Shepard. Guys, how are we doing today?
Doing good, man. I'm doing good.
I mean, I wish
I'm laughing because this play-in tournament is so useless. It's so useless.
And why do you think that? Why, I'm laughing with you too, but
yeah,
why
no,
so?
I mean, it's useless because think about it. You know, you have teams like, what you said, maybe like 30 games. You know, you may win 30 games out of 82, and then guess what? You get a chance to face the number one team. You get a chance to be in the playoffs. Why? Did you earn it? Did you deserve it? Absolutely not. Nope. But we're just like, we're going to give them a chance. It's all a money grab. It's all a money grab.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It is a money grab. I mean, we're just here to watch some basketball, but it's not going to be fun. I mean, we already know who's going to win these games, so what's the point?
Man, for such a basketball lover, you do not seem excited for this. You get to see your Pelicans play today. You're not excited?
That's why he's not excited. He gets to see his Pelicans.
No Zion, man. It's tough.
I mean, we'll get to the Pelicans a little bit later, but obviously tonight we got, I think, probably the biggest matchups of the night. They're both going to be the 8 and 7 seed. We got the Hawks going to Miami for the Heat, and for the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, we got to face the Timberwolves versus the Lakers. Which games? I know. We'll start with the Lakers. Lakers and Timberwolves. Caleb, what are going to be the big key things there?
Well, obviously LeBron, you know, he always shows up, and you're going to have to stop him. And the Timberwolves, well, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, think about it like this. When you have a team that has so much dissension going on, I mean, you got Rudy Gobert, Jeff McDaniel, you have these guys not getting along, and then you have these guys basically thinking like, oh, we're going to be able to go in and win a play-in tournament. They can even go in and win a pickup game off the street. So with the way their team is just like not gelling well together, give me the Lakers all day.
I mean, they do have their stars like Cat, and then obviously, you know, when you trade 5 first-round picks for somebody, you kind of want to use them in the playoffs. When you punch your own teammate in the chest,
yes,
that kind of eliminates that situation. So I'm going to have to go. I don't know if we said who we got, but I'm going to go Lakers. A healthy Lakers team. I know they have LeBron a little bit questionable, even AD, you know. They're always going to be injury prone. It's time to retire both of y'all. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have to go with the Lakers on this one, and I think, you know, that's where we're going to be at. What do you guys think?
All
agreement?
The Lakers,
definitely going with Lakers.
All right, sweet. We're going to switch conferences right now to the East. Obviously, Atlanta versus Miami Heat. What do you guys have? What are the key to the games, Mason?
Key to the games, look, this is the one key. Jimmy Butler is going to get a chance to get in the playoffs. That's the main key. No, seriously, Miami has a lot of weapons, and they're a team that gels well together. And I think when you have that type of team, and Eric Spoelstra is an amazing coach, and I think if you have those guys gel together on the same page, there is no way that, you know, they're not going to beat the Hawks. Plus, Ice Trae, it's a double entendre there because it's not necessarily always for good things. That guy, I don't know, man. I just give me the Heat all day.
I mean, when you kind of just touched on it, this Spoelstra's defense that he's built around Miami, especially with Bam Adebayo and even Kyle Lowry, going against Trae Young, he's only averaging 15 points since last season's playoffs. There's a reason why we traded you. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I just had to say it out there. Luka's 100% better. Caleb, what do you think?
Yeah, the Hawks, they don't have a chance. I mean, Trae Young, it's really up to him, and can he win them with the game? No.
He's proven that he can't do that. That's the thing. He's proven that he can't do that.
I mean, last year he did really well. I mean,
yeah,
he became the villain of New York.
Yes, he did. Which, I mean, that's not hard to do. Sorry, Knicks fans.
Yeah, I mean, when you're that ugly, I'm sorry, Trae.
Yeah, that's not hard to do to be a villain.
But I mean, they obviously traded for DeJounte Murray last year. You're especially helping. I know he's never had a lot of playoff experience with the Spurs. That was past his time coming in. Yep. But I mean, you're expecting to use him at least. And I mean, hopefully, you know, he adds a little bit for the Trae Young. But I don't know if we all mentioned it. I'm guessing with all of us saying that he got this one in the bag, I'm going to go with the Heat on this one. What do you guys think? Same?
Yeah, I'm going with the Heat.
I mean, that's the only way to it. Now, obviously, that will send the Heat to the playoffs, right?
Yep.
One reason I hate this stupid tournament, because it don't make any sense. You now have an extra chance. So now the Hawks will play the winners of either the Bulls or the Raptors. And let's see, we chose the Lakers. So the Timberwolves are now going to face the Pelicans and the Thunder. Caleb, what about the Pelicans and the Thunder you see?
Well, it comes down to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and obviously, you know, they're going to have to double him, and really it just comes down to that. If they can double him, you know, contain him, then the Pelicans can pretty easily win this game.
Okay, I can't really argue with that. I mean, as much as the Pelicans, do suck. I can't really argue with the fact that OKC's one-dimensional, and having a one-dimensional team that doesn't breed you for success. I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, I'm surprised they made it this far to get to the play-in tournament.
I mean, even with Chet Holmgren, their number one pick, coveted prize player, gets injured in a program, you're done for the season.
Yep.
They're going to have a lot of draft picks. Maybe I don't think this is their year, but I think this is definitely going to be where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is definitely going to prove himself out there. I don't know if y'all agree. Now, really quick question. Are they going to win? Are they going to go all the way? Any of these teams here in the play-in tournament?
No.
I'm going to say yes. Give me the Bulls. No, I'm just playing. Give me the Thunder. Chet Holmgren's going to come back, absolutely sweep everybody, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Coming up next, we got the Texas Rangers. Their season continues on. Coming up next.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
Hey man, are you okay in there? You look terrible. Have you been up all night? Don't you know that according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, staying up all night can have a negative effect on your GPA?
Sleep.
Yeah, go to bed.
Can I see your voter registration, please? All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
Hello, welcome back in the Sports Zone. The Texas Rangers coming back from Wrigley Field, aka my hometown, after a kind of disappointing series over there in Wrigley, but coming off of a big win against the Kansas City Royals later last night. Joining me now to discuss the Texas Rangers and their season thus far, Matthew Wagner and Adam C. Guys, how are we doing today?
Doing good. I don't know about Rangers fans if they're feeling good right now. I mean, yes, they're at the top of the division, but, a little shaky.
I'm doing all right. Teams kind of scare me right now, but I think they're going to get better.
I mean, let's take a look. We'll dive a little bit in here. Kind of like you mentioned, we already are on top of the division, right? You got the Rangers at 6-4, Angels 5-5. What have y'all seen in the division before we dive into the Rangers?
The division's kind of imploding, right? Like the Angels, everyone talks about having Shohei Ohtani, right, and having Mike Trout. That's great, but they're 5-5. They're going to start choking as they usually do. And maybe the Rangers do the same thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone's doing surprisingly bad right now, and you know what, Rangers, if they can take advantage, we could be looking at a fun year.
I mean, what do you guys think for this? Because, you take a look at the record by division. The AL West is the only division that has a negative record. They're 20-27 before last night. Other divisions, you look at the AL East with the Yankees and the Rays that are now 10-0. They're 30-16. I mean, I guess the level of competition is just totally different. Now, diving specifically into the Rangers, just like we mentioned earlier, coming off of Chicago, the Game 1 0-2 loss, kind of a close game there, and then an absolutely bipolar one in Game 2, 10-3 L, and then Game 3, you got an 8-3 win, guys. What's with the inconsistency, Adam?
I think the thing I've noticed about the Rangers, there's almost been an all-year thing. They either win by a lot or they lose by a lot, and it's starting to become a curse with that squad, especially against the Cubs. And I think we're going to have to work on that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I think definitely there's that sketchiness, right? It's beginning of the season, it's early. You know, there's time to work out those kinks. And I think if the Rangers can find a way to kind of keep the bats going, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I think one of the big reasons, especially for this, like earlier this season, like in the Phillies, they were like 8th or like top 10 in OPS, just on base with slugging. Now they're sitting at 18th. I mean, what do you got? Is there a reason for that? Is it just like you mentioned, maybe just the preseason jitters? What's going on?
I mean, I think it's just kind of a combination of everything. The pitching was there at the beginning of the season, and the hitting was there, but they've cooled off. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about it, but you know, it's one of those things where the Rangers have to like find a way to get back in that rhythm, get back in that that kind of clean slate, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Kind of jumping off what he said. Whenever it came to the Phillies, we kind of just went out and we did unexpectedly good, and now we're kind of starting to calm down a little bit. So, we're kind of getting back to our normal phase instead of playing way above our heads like we have. But I don't think it's necessarily bad. It's just not as phenomenal as it was at the beginning of the year.
So I feel you. I don't think it's more on the players themselves. I think it's honestly on the pitch clock. I mean, you think about it, and I know I've said this how many times already, pitch clock this, pitch clock that. But take a look, games are ending shorter, right? Yeah. You only Sandy pitched a complete game, and I remember last week I said you'll never see that again. He did me wrong and did it later, 2 hours later. But 2-hour game, complete game right there. You take a look, pitchers are now resetting faster. They don't have enough time to reset. And I think especially like Jacob deGrom, I know he did a little bit of spring training and whatnot, but especially coming off an injury, he didn't have time to set. And I think pitchers are now finally figuring it out a little bit. That's why I think a big inconsistency there is that, it's becoming a whole new game. You have to already think 3 pitches ahead instead of, sit, stand, set up, maybe change the pitch. Now you have 5 seconds to either decide you're going to do it or not. So, I mean, I don't know if that's maybe y'all's thinking too or what.
No, yeah, I think it's also harder on the hitters because now that the pitchers are figuring out, the hitters have to quickly think about, the next pitch and the next hit, right? And that's tougher for them. I think maybe we've definitely seen a little bit of a decrease in on base percentage, and we definitely see the averages kind of dip a little bit. So hopefully that changes, but as of right now, it's not looking great.
Well, so far, we take a look at the Rangers, like we mentioned earlier, 6-4 already on top of the AL West. Adam, in your opinion, who's been the outstanding player or breakout player to be?
So stereotypically, I would actually say Corey Seager, but I'm going to go with
not a wrong answer.
I'm going to go with the weird answer here. He's only played 6 games because he's been hurt, but Mitch Garver, he hasn't played that much this year, but in the 6 games he's played, he's looked absolutely phenomenal. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, looking actually really good on the year, and I think once he comes back and kind of get that consistency going, he's going to be up there with Seager.
And I'll jump on the Garver train a little bit with you, whoop whoop. But he's batting. In the last 3 games, he's batted 264. He's been really good, right? But one guy that stepped up in Garver's absence, definitely Jonah Heim. He has definitely stepped up in his absence. He's batting 400 right now. I mean, that's what you need from him.
Yeah, especially, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to actually go to the pitching side. I mean, the bullpen, and especially this guy, Dane Dunning, I was literally there when they booed him in the Phillies. Everybody was in the building, booed this man, that he was getting warmed up in such like a blowout game. Dude has pitched 9.1 innings, only giving up 6 hits, 1 run.
Yeah, he's
ridiculous.
He's given him a reason not to boo anymore.
Ridiculous. Now, obviously, we have the Royals again later tonight. Bobby Witt Jr. getting spoiled in his hometown return. What are the keys to that really quickly?
Definitely the defense, right? They've kind of shown that the pitching's been good, right? But the defense has kind of lacked. There's been 2 errors in the last 3 games. You got to tighten that up because then you got to play. You
got to take some of that momentum from last night's game where they won 11-2. Because one thing I noticed about the Rangers, when they're hitting good, they're pitching good. Like the Rangers offense and defense bounce off each other, so we need consistency on both sides.
I mean, it's going to be a battle tonight. We're going to try to spoil Bobby Witt Jr.'s game yet again tonight. But coming up next, we got the push for the playoffs, and who are the Stars going to play?
Has the weight of stress and anxiety ever felt too heavy to overcome? Wish there was a safe place to confide in? Wish granted. At UNT, we offer counseling and testing services to students located on the 3rd floor of Chestnut Hall. UNT, we're here for you.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
Welcome back to SportsZone. I'm your host, Jeremiah Russo. The Dallas Stars are finally with 2 games left in the regular season, but there's still one question unanswered. Who are we going to play in the playoffs? It is so tight that we literally probably have to wait till the last game of the season. Joining me now to discuss the Dallas Stars and, I don't know, maybe whoever they'll play eventually, Matthew Wagner yet again and Trey Francis. Guys, how are we doing today?
Doing great.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be a Stars fan right now.
Yeah,
honestly.
Stars, playoffs right around the corner. Can't be more excited.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'd be more excited if I knew who we were playing. I mean,
You're right.
I don't know about
You're
you
right.
guys. Taking a look at the Western Conference standings, we have the Avalanche and the Stars tied for first, even though Avalanche have played one less game. So currently, we're going to face the 3-seeded team, which is going to be the Minnesota Wild, and then the 4th seed as of right now, Seattle Kraken in that wild card. So if we're going to play Minnesota, what are going to be some of the key games here, especially to build off of that big Red Wings game, Trey?
Yeah, playing Minnesota, we played them several times this year. We got to be prepared. It's playoff time. Anything can happen. So I think we really just got to settle down, get the defense rolling, and just get consistent. And I think that's key to moving to that second round.
100%. Yeah, I'll back off that. If you can shut down Kaprizov, Zuccarello, Hartman, that line that's been their key thing, especially Boldy. Matt Boldy has been absolutely tearing it up for the Wild. If you can stop him, the Stars can easily sweep this team.
No doubt.
I mean, you got to give credit to Marc-Andre Fleury, though. I mean, he's had his fair share against the Dallas Stars, even with Chicago, in Minnesota last year. That's going to probably be one of the bigger focuses. And I know a lot of the focus for Dallas this year was, can they produce goals? Can they score? But I think, honestly, like you guys mentioned, if we can shut down some of those key players, get rid of Ryan Suter, please, I think we'll be okay. Because Jake Ottinger standing on his head, this 24-year-old Boston College Terrier goalie, absolutely tearing it up, and the Stars just leaving him out to dry.
Yeah, that cannot happen this playoffs. Like, it happened last year against the Flames. We left them out to dry. If this happens again, it's going to be a rough 7 games if we have to even go to that.
Yeah, I mean, even the backup, Scott Wedgwood, you got to give him some credit. He's won a couple of games for us this year. If something were to happen to Audra, or if he needs that break, I feel like Wedgwood can really hop in there. But touching off what you said, the goal scorers, Robertson, Pavelski, Hintz. And Hintz hasn't even been, in the equation that much recently. But I feel like with all the goal scorers, the Stars have an unlimited potential.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially like we mentioned, Jason Robertson. Also, Miro Heiskanen, it's most points by defenseman so far for the Stars. And I know Jason Robertson, before they were the Dallas Stars, 106 points. He does have the lead right now, looking to maybe extend it a little bit more. Those are going to be the key guys. But what is like a sleeper guy that you have for this matchup? If we do play, I mean, not even if we play Minnesota, whoever we play, who's going to be like the dark horse?
Honestly, give me Max Domi. I know he's just coming into a new system is kind of hard, right? But this guy's been grinding it out, and he's absolutely made magic so far with Ty Dellandrea. I'm excited to see what these guys can do because they're grinders, and you need grinders in the playoffs.
Yeah, I got my man crush on Jason Robertson, so I got to give it to him.
At least he's honest with it.
Hey, he's helped us all year long. He can help us, the rest of the way through. So Jason Robertson, also got to give a shout out to Joe Pavelski. He's been playing outstanding recently. So
recently got his 1,000th NHL point.
Yeah, his 1,000th NHL point. So shout out to him for a hell of a career.
It looks like all the Stars are making history here, but they're looking to make history. Do you see right now they can make history to go all the way? I mean, right now we look at Minnesota, right? You never want to look past a team but Minnesota. Then your brain starts wondering, okay, Colorado and the Kraken, if that's how it holds up. Do we have a chance? I'm probably going to say for now the Avalanche move on. How do we fare against the Avalanche? Who are those? What do we think?
I mean,
Trey?
I think look at the 2020 playoffs when we made it to the finals, right? We beat the Avalanche, and they didn't have a healthy team, and that hopefully we can beat them. But I think the Kraken, everyone sleeps on the Kraken. Maybe they can pull an upset against the Avalanche, and we'll see the Stars make the playoffs.
Yeah,
make it further. Sorry.
Yeah, we played the Avs a couple times this year. It's been back and forth. So I would like to see the Kraken. We've had better luck against the Kraken, I think. So if we can get the Kraken, that'd be probably our best bet to move on.
Oh, for sure.
Well, then, obviously after that, now we got to face somebody in Pacific. My dark horse is going to be the Kings, and then obviously Stanley Cup Finals. Do you guys think it's going to be a Boston versus Dallas, or do you guys who do you have in your final?
I had my Eastern Conference final. I had Lightning and Boston. I hope Boston can absolutely destroy the Lightning, but you never know. I think Boston-Dallas would be a really good, series, and probably it's going to go to Boston, but I hope Dallas.
Yeah, give me Boston-Dallas as well. Boston's been on a tear. The Stars, they just got to keep this consistency, just like the Bruins have. They've had great consistency. So the Stars can, find a way to get there. I feel like Boston-Dallas could make for a great final.
I'm down for Boston-Dallas. I want to dethrone the best team in NHL history. And so we're going to see what's that coming up in about 1 week. We will start the NHL playoffs. But coming up next, we're going to kick it back to the NFL and see what best jerseys and worst ones that we have going on.
That was a really good movie.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, so we have to watch the next one before next class, right?
We do?
I think so, but it's not on Netflix and it's not on Hulu, so...
Man, I don't want to pay for that.
So what do we do?
Do you think there's a place we could go to get the movie?
I'm not sure, maybe?
Oh, there's a place to get the movie.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, it's right here on campus. Come on, I'll show you.
Live from UNT, it's Wheel of Culture!
Welcome back to Wheel of Culture. Our contestant is so close to solving this puzzle. But first, it's time to give the wheel a spin. Wow, you landed on London, one of the many places where you and your fellow students can go on a chance to experience new culture. But only if you can solve this puzzle.
I'd like to solve the puzzle. Study abroad.
That's correct. You just won yourself a trip to study abroad in London, England, and you can too. Just go to studyabroad.unt.edu to see deadlines and apply for scholarships. Get ready to study abroad.
Welcome back into Sports Zone. As the NFL season gets ready for the NFL draft in about a week or two and the regular season, we got to first go all the way back to the branding of the NFL and their respective teams. With that in mind, we're here to talk about the best NFL uniforms, best and worst. Joining me now to discuss that, Jose Moreno and Parker Smith. Guys, how are we doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm ready to absolutely either tear into some jerseys or absolutely, talk about some of the best ones.
There's been some bad ones.
And there has been. So you know what, Parker, I'll let you kick us off. We'll start with the worst. What's one of your worst ones of all time?
All right, so one of my worst jerseys of all time. This is definitely a popular pick, but I have to go with the horrendous looking Steelers Bumblebee jersey. Pull it up. Oh,
that's pretty horrendous.
It's rough. The way they literally look like the little insect, and then you'll have the little text box with the number. It's not a good look.
I don't know what's worse, the text box or the awful color design. I knew a guy who got this as a Christmas gift and he threw it away the next morning. One of the worst jerseys of all time.
Just look how oldish looking and clunky and the jersey too, don't get me wrong, but just how horrible that
putting
together.
Ben Roethlisberger in the jersey makes it look even worse.
That is pretty bad. Probably one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen personally. Jose, who's one of your worst jerseys ever?
All right, I'm gonna make you guys envision something. You're going to a game.
I want to envision
you do.
It if
you're
it's
going
the
to
worst.
you're going to an NFL game. You're kind of tired, but you're excited for the game. You've been tailgating all day. You walk in. The guy next to you is wearing the most god awful, horrendous jersey ever, a camo jersey.
I don't know who thought it was a good idea to put camo in football jerseys. I hope it gets pulled up real quick because that jersey is the.
It might be pulled up. We just don't see it.
I hate it. I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. You're not serving in Iraq. You're not fighting off Al Qaeda. You're at a Cowboys game drinking $6 beer, eating an $8 cheeseburger. Why are you wearing camo? What are you hiding from? There's no reason to. You can't even wear it when you go hunting.
People like you right now. They're absolutely attacking them.
He's ripping into these jerseys.
You look foolish. You look foolish in it. Hey, dude, look at that sweet Seahawks camo jersey.
It's for the Salute to Service program, so let's have some respect.
You can salute
Jose.
nothing.
Moving on, I'll take one of my worst ones. I'm going to kick it to the Denver Broncos. I think this might literally just be the color of manure for them. It is the mustard and brown of the Denver Broncos. Let's see if they pull it up here. That one might even be worse. But, I mean, you take a look at that jersey, and it is essentially just a sin. I mean, the fact that an NFL team was allowed to even have that color scheme and put it out.
Any type of mustard and like yellow jersey
The only
like that
team that can do it well, I will give it to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not that old Bumblebee version, but you know, the regular home, I can get behind it.
You know, it's so bad, it's censored on the screen.
It broke the TV
It
screen.
is
It just didn't want to load.
It has exposed our production is how bad it is. That is messed up how bad that jersey
Well,
is.
maybe the only way to fix it is let's talk about some of the best ones. Jose, what's one of your best jerseys that you've had in the NFL?
I'm going to take you on another trip down memory lane.
This one's okay because it's the best.
You wake up, it's 2006, you just got done watching SpongeBob, you turn on the game, and what is it? It's a Miami Dolphins game against whatever scrub team they're facing. And I'm calling them scrubs because they had the best jersey of all time, the 2000s jersey. Mwah! From the coloring to the logo to even who made it, Reebok. It is just
no longer in business. Go ahead,
perfect.
sorry.
It is so nice. I even love the helmet decal they add onto this. And this is still one of the best jerseys ever. I also love their away, which is rare. I hate white jerseys a lot. I think they just always look ugly in the end of a game. But the Dolphins just had such a cool look to them in the 2000s.
I have to agree with you. The logos have really taken a downturn since. I mean, I remember turning on the TV and seeing these jerseys and just being in love with like the shade of turquoise that they use. It's a great jersey.
I'm going to get behind that too. I think they need to revert to that logo. Put the helmet back on the Dolphins.
They've been using it a lot more now, like with Tua.
But I think they need to. Well, they need to because he's getting concussed, so they got to put a dang helmet on it. Parker, what's one of the best ones you got?
All right, so my favorite jersey in the entire NFL right now has to be the all-black Ravens jerseys. So. Something about seeing Lamar Jackson take the field, and especially when it's a night game and you just see all the light shining off the metallic helmet. I just really love this jersey, and I feel like the all black puts fear in your enemy. You know what I mean? Whenever you walk on the field and it's an all black, especially with the Ravens, it just gives me a flashback to Ray Lewis in those days. So I'm a really big fan of these jerseys.
The only thing they have to fear right now is losing their quarterback. I don't know about jerseys and intimidation.
I don't know if you saw it, but Odell Beckham Jr. and Lamar Jackson were on Instagram Live talking about the situation.
That's like buying a 2008 Corolla for your spoiled nephew, thinking it's going to fix something.
I don't know. I'll kick off one of my best really quickly. I'm going to kick it to my hometown. I'll do the Chicago Bears. Not the color rush that everybody, it's really controversial with the orange. But the white with the Bears color scheme, I think this is probably one of the cleanest jerseys.
I'll take.
No,
I like it. I like the jersey.
It's classic, and I think honestly, it's probably better than the orange. But I think I think it should be used more. They only use it for one game.
I'm sorry.
I'm a fan of the simple look, and I like the way like the numbers are kind of boxy, and I think it works. So I'm on your side here, Jeremiah.
I'm anti this. This looks like they just went on editor and just all right. We need to make it a home jersey. Just add like stripes on the side and stripes on the shoulder. Great. What color should we make the font? Screw it, black.
So while
Who
Jose
cares?
rips into my Chicago Bears and probably the best uniform, we do have more uniforms, but you may see that this Thursday as we have another episode of SportsZone coming in at 5:30 p.m. And if you follow us, if you're on social media, you can go ahead and give us a follow at NTTV_sports. And don't go anywhere because coming up next is NTTV.